In this area, all women are thought to be created to fulfill the needs of men. There is no such thing as women's rights. In this area, men can do whatever they want to a woman because there is no concept of what is good or bad. They seem comfortable with this. Hello, my dear family. Peace be with you. Today, I have brought you the most popular movie called Immoral Tales, which was released in 1973. My family, please help us by liking the video. Without wasting time, let's dive into the movie. Yes, the movie begins with a young boy named Andre. He decides to take his 16-year-old cousin on a bike ride to the beach. When they arrive, Andre suggests they move to a quieter spot so she can swim freely. She agrees, and they climb over some rocks to find a better place. Unfortunately, they end up stuck by the rising tide. Andre tells his cousin to stop swimming and get dressed while they wait for the water to go down. He is a bit bossy, but she doesn't seem to mind. She puts on her dress, and Andre scolds her for getting it dirty, even though they've only been at the beach for a short time. After she gets dressed, he tells her to take off her undergarments since they got wet while swimming. She does this, and then Andre suggests they play a game to pass the time. After a while, Andre asks his cousin if she knows how the tides work. He explains how the moon and the sun affect the tides, and how they need to be aligned for the tide to change. Andre looks at the innocent girl and finally shows what he really wants. He tells her that they didn't come to the beach just to have fun. He had planned to come to this rocky part of the ocean because he has a crush on his cousin. He tells the girl that he's thirsty for something, but instead of water, he wants a kiss from his cousin. He uses a strange analogy, saying the girl, "Let me know if you'd like me to continue with part 2, or if you'd like any adjust." Andre compares the girl to a sheep and tells her to eat the salt he offers her. He insists she focus on pleasing him so they can both enjoy the moment. As he speaks, he puts his finger in her mouth. At first, she hesitates, but soon she opens her mouth and starts interacting with his finger, making him feel like he has taken control. Andre then asks her to do something more intimate. Already excited from their earlier games, the girl agrees. She begins to touch Andre, but he quickly tells her they don't have time to waste. Andre reveals he has set a timer to align his climax with the tidal wave. He pushes her down and has her assist him. As things escalate, he grows more excited, talking about the tide. Eventually, he climaxes at the exact moment the wave crashes, and the girl also experiences pleasure. The cries of seagulls echo around them, reminding them they are not entirely alone, or perhaps providing a calming background for what just happened. The second story takes place in a church in 1980 and is called Therese's Philosophy. It follows a teenage girl from the countryside who has devoted her life to Christ and the church. One evening, she walks through the church, reflecting on the sermon she heard earlier. The message was clear. The Lord wants her to remain loyal to Him. She keeps thinking about how the Lord controls her thoughts and feelings. As she ponders her devotion, she loudly expresses her desire to be happy. She hears the Lord's voice telling her He can make her happy if she seeks Him. However, her mind begins to wander. She starts to believe the Lord could please her in other ways. Gently, she touches the church artifacts, thinking that if she behaves well, the Lord will reward her. It becomes frustrating to feel awakened in a sacred setting. Overwhelmed and upset, the girl begins to touch herself. An older woman, assigned to care for her, finds her in the act. Furious, the woman scolds her, calling her names, and drags her back to her room. As punishment, the woman locks the girl in her room for 3 days and nights. The girl begs for some books to keep her company, and eventually the woman agrees. Clutching a small prayer book, the girl continues to cry. For dinner, she is given nothing but raw cucumbers. One day, left alone, she finds a book among her belongings. Bored, she begins to read it and discovers it's an adult book. As she reads, she imagines being with someone she cares about. Though she tries to stay calm, the feelings become overwhelming. Realizing she needs to address these emotions, she explores her thoughts further.
In the following scenes, the girl looks at some old religious artifacts in her room. When they fail to bring her comfort, she turns to a little doll she owns, kissing it as if seeking love. This brings her a moment of happiness. Soon, she lies in bed, touching herself while remembering the cucumbers left nearby. The last scene shows her gazing out the window, deep in thought about what to do next. In the distance, a man is seen watching her. The third story takes place in the 1610s and revolves around Zabet Tori, the Countess of Hungary. One day, she visits a small village and orders all the pure and humble women to gather before her. She inspects them one by one, carefully examining their bodies to determine if they are pretty enough. Before the Countess arrives, one woman, caught having an affair, tries to escape into the woods but is captured and brought back. She stands before the Countess alongside her young daughter. The Countess decides she likes the women and takes them, along with her maids, to her palace. The women admire the beauty of the castle, but notice that the Countess seems sad, as if she could use some cheering up. The Countess instructs her helper to show the village women to the showers. The women, now relaxed, happily bathe while joking and drawing silly pictures on the clean walls. Afterward, they are cleaned and perfumed with luxurious oils. While inspecting the showers, the Countess angrily erases one of the rude drawings as her aide prepares a drink. The women, still unclothed, are escorted into a grand hall where the Countess offers them drinks from a goblet. The women, excited by the Countess's presence, are allowed to touch her dress. Their excitement turns chaotic as they crowd around her, causing her to fall onto a bed. They remove her clothes, and one woman bites her necklace, collecting the pearls and putting them inside the Countess. A fight breaks out among the women, prompting the Countess to quickly leave the room. Later, the naked Countess enters a bathroom, where her aide is cleaning a sword and a tub filled with red-colored water awaits her. She bathes in the crimson liquid and rinses off. The Countess then invites one of the women into her room, where they share an intimate moment. The next morning, the aide quietly leaves while the Countess sleeps. Minutes later, palace guards burst into her bedroom and place her under arrest. It is revealed that the Countess kills young women and bathes in their blood to maintain her youth forever. The final story takes place in a church in the 1400s. The Pope is there with his son and daughter. In a strange gesture, he has his son kiss a nut before giving it to his daughter to eat. The Pope and his children are unusually close. After the church service, he takes them to the pulpit, where he shows them inappropriate pictures of horses and asks for their opinions. He explains that sometimes people need to give in to their natural urges and claims it is better to do so with someone they love. At this moment, the daughter's boyfriend arrives. In the next scene, the Pope, his daughter, his son, and his son-in-law are seen engaging in a strange group activity. Meanwhile, a priest delivers a sermon to the congregation, speaking about morality and how small sins can lead to bigger ones. He uses examples to illustrate his points and distances himself from the Pope's behavior. Suddenly, royal guards storm into the church and arrest the priest, accusing him of speaking against God. The king has him burned as punishment. In the last part of the story, the Pope is seen presenting his grandchild to the community during a baptism ceremony. His daughter looks shocked, as though she is uncertain about the identity of the child's father. The movie ends here. My dear family, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.